difference between, the fact of the matter, a male and a man are two totally different things. A male is somebody who operates in their gender, but a man is someone who operates in their God-given gift of responsibility. How do I become a man when I didn't see one? And me dealing with a number of different situations, self-identity, self-esteem, understanding who I was, how I was supposed to be. And the fact of the matter, media in many cases tries to indicate and show what a man is supposed to be, especially as a black man. And we see a lot of negativity in the media about what it means to be a man. In many cases, we have this whole tough mentality to where we see ourselves as each other's enemy instead of seeing ourselves as each other's brother, as each other's confidant, as each other's friend. Define ourselves through the lens of hip-hop, define ourselves through how many women that we have on our arm, or how much money we have in our pocket. Those are all incorrect ways of how to operate as a man. And one of the greatest trials and tribulations that I faced was at the age of 15, growing up in a single-parent divorce household, where I was dealing with a number of different chest pains. In my sophomore year of high school, I was getting ready to play basketball, I was running cross country, just getting ready to just do what normal kids do. Playing basketball on the varsity team, and I was having a number of different chest pains that were affecting me in high school. We have this hard, macho aspect of whatever's going on inside of me. As a man, I can't talk about that. I can't investigate. I can't let nobody see any weakness because we define ourselves as based on that exterior. And so, long story short, I'm having a number of different chest pains. I'm sitting over at my friend's house and we're watching the Rose Bowl game. By halftime, I can't breathe. And I'm saying, hey man, I need to get to the hospital. And it's basically kind of funny because none of us have a permit, none of us have a license, we just kids. He calls his mother up, she gets me and takes me to the hospital. I'm over in Providence, they say I have a punctured lung, and I'm laying there on the bed. This is like New Year's night, New Year's Eve night. And everybody's partying, everybody's having a good time. I'm laying up in the hospital there, looking up to the ceiling, wondering what's going on with me. Providence can't do much with me. They take me to Beaumont, IVs everywhere, you name it. They do an X-ray on my chest because that's where the pain is coming from. And they see that there's a blockage, some cell blockage that's going on in my heart. And the doctors automatically cut me open. They see, once they cut me open, that my cells are growing so fast in my body that you can see them growing when they get out. Right around my heart, my trachea, my esophagus. The place where I'm speaking to you out of right now, my voice box. And anybody who knows anything about the human body, cells are supposed to live and die off. Mine weren't dying off. Why was that? Still to this day, they still don't know. The doctor walked into my room a few days later. He says, we have a diagnosis for you, Eddie. I'm like, well, what's going on? It's got to be a bad cold, maybe it was pneumonia. He says, you have non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I'm like, what in the world is that? I'm from Oak Park. I kick it with the homies, so on and so forth. I don't know I never heard of that. Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. He said, you got NHL. I'm thinking National Hockey League. I don't play none of that. He says, you have cancer. I'm like, what? And he doesn't even give me an opportunity to even, express my opinion about it, say nothing. He says, don't ask why you've been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Looks at my mother, tells my mother 4 words. He says, we can't promise anything. To be 15, to be young, to be black, to be male, to be dealing with that. I'm thinking cancer, 50, 60, 70 years of age. How I got cancer? He says, you ever smoke? I'm like, nah, I play ball. I'm trying to be an athlete. He said, have you lived in a toxic community? I say, no, I stay right over off between 8 and 9 miles. What you talking about? He says, well, we still don't know how you could have got this. He says, don't even ask why. I'm like, you my physician, you ain't my psychologist. For the next 18 months, close to 2 years, that's what I asked. Why me, why now? Chemotherapy, radiation, 5 days of the week. My own biological father never even visited me one day in the hospital. To have to go through that situation to where, people always, one thing I've learned, people will be with you on the mountaintop when you're successful. But when you're struggling in the valley, you can't find them. So having to go through that and really, as even Ray was alluding to, find faith in the midst of that situation. The fire of your situation really kind of fuels something in you to discover something greater than yourself, greater than the money. When your back is up against the wall, money can't get you out of that. When your back is up against the wall, the people who you with, they better be warriors instead of some worriers. The people who you think that you're surrounded by, you better make sure that those people around you are giving you strength, they're giving you encouragement. And so when I was dealing with my situation, it was me. It was my mom, it was God, that's all I had. And I really understood that you got to change your perception, you got to change your perspective. I had to look at cancer and look at the negative, positive, and see the first 3 letters of cancer was can. You can overcome, you can survive. And that's what really kind of redefined me. I didn't have a lot of role models in my life personally that I could touch. I didn't really have a lot of male father figures in my life to really help encourage me, so on and so forth. It was really life lessons that I had to learn, that I had to pick and choose, and to even look at that fork in the road, the decisions. Am I going to go the positive route? Am I going to go the negative route? Am I going to get down on myself? Or am I going to use my mentality? Am I going to use my mind? And that's what everybody here has. A lot of times we've been weighed down, we've been pushed down by negative, we've been pushed down by broken dreams, broken families. I was talking to many of the young students that I mentor, and I was talking about big dreams and really the reality of it. How can you dream big, especially if you're growing up? Where I stay at on the east side of Detroit, where it's a strip club, then it's a McDonald's, then it's a church, another liquor store, strip club, McDonald's, liquor store, church. That's all you see. How can you dream bigger than what you see? Tupac says, be the rose that grows through concrete. But it's really that we've been crushed, we've been crippled. You got to use that negative positive. You can't get down on yourself. Everybody has a gift on the inside. God gave you a gift. You got to birth that, especially as a man, especially as an individual who's moving from boyhood to manhood, developing themselves. God always placed a gift in a man. He gave a man vision. He gave a man provision. We got to discover what we have on the inside of ourselves to bless somebody else, to inspire somebody else, to encourage somebody else, to say, you ain't my N-word. You my brother. I'm helping you out. I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to lift you. It don't make you soft. It don't make you weak. It don't make you whack. It don't make you effeminate. It makes you somebody who's straight, because it takes love to give somebody some strength. Love to give somebody encouragement. And that's what I had to find deep in my soul, deep within, going through what I went through. 10 years ago, I couldn't talk to you about what I went through. I was embarrassed about what I had gone through with cancer. That's not a popular topic. That's not a sexy subject. But me going through that really is able to tell somebody that you can man who really inspired me. Malcolm, Martin, Mandela, and this Manhood Project is what it takes, to revitalize and change the city. Appreciate it.